Hello, hello. Welcome to the night crew, everyone. We have another exciting night planned out. We have some really impressive people on our panel, as usual. Bob Gonzalez and Angela Thomas Smith. And hope everybody's had a great day today. Uh, there's been some interesting items in the news today that's going to be quite interesting to talk about. Uh, I guess y'all heard the five wounded in shooting at Morgan State University in Baltimore. Five people, including four students, suffered non-life threatening injuries after a gunfire erupted on Morgan State University's campus in northeast Baltimore on Tuesday night. The shooting took place during the university's week of homecoming events. Morgan State President David K. Wilson canceled or postponed all scheduled activities during the annual celebration in wake of the violence. Classes are canceled Wednesday through Friday. Regrettably, for the very first time in Morgan's history, all activities planned around homecoming will be either canceled or postponed until the perpetrators of this atrocity have been found and brought to justice, Wilson said in a statement. This is just one more of so many public mass shootings we've seen. It seems like nothing ever really happens to change it. People will talk a lot about gun control, and some talk a lot about mental illness and all this and the other, but what changes? I am glad to see nobody was killed, at least. That's one good thing. But the bad part is they still haven't caught the person or persons that were involved. So that's going to be interesting. So what do you think about that one?
There's sad news every time. It's
Yeah,
very sad every time you hear one of these stories. It happens much too often, more often than it should. I don't know. We just have to create a less tension in our culture, so these kind of incidents are reduced dramatically. I'm not sure if take, because some of the cities with the strictest gun control laws have the most violent shootings. So I don't know if that's really the answer. I
yeah,
think it's just it's just a more moral society from the time a person, even before the person is born, just a
yeah,
more moral society for all the way around.
yeah, it is.
Go back to the Bible and Christianity and Jesus and more morality.
Yeah. Yeah, these kids play these violent video games, where they kill people
Yeah,
intentionally and they're in the war, or some of them they run over people, in the videos just like it's a game. And some of them, I think, don't even really have the mental capacity to understand that there's a difference.
yeah,
You do it in
yeah,
real life, it's the same thing.
yeah.
So, Angela, what do you think about this?
I think it's awful. You know, uh, we hear this and see this so regularly now, and it goes back to it's not the guns that are hurting the people. It's the people that control the guns, because the guns can only do what the people do with the
Yeah,
guns. So I think it should be people should be evaluated more before they are allowed to be able to have that power, because that is a power, being able to have a gun and being able to carry a gun. And everybody is not equipped and is capable of handling that. So I just I don't know. It's getting worse and worse. Every time
yeah,
you pick up a newspaper or turn on the TV, you hearing somebody's been shot. somebody's been this, somebody's been that with the gun. And then when it boils down to it and you get down to who did it, then it's always an issue with that person that had that power to get that gun. They always seem like they've had some type of mental issue or there's just something going on with them. So I really think that there should be more evaluation done before they allow these people to walk around with guns.
Yeah, I know that some of them do have mental issues, but I know a lot of people personally that have mental issues, but they don't go around killing people, and I'm sure y'all do too.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more to it than that. I don't know. It seems like here lately, a lot of times it's happening on university campuses. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about. And I'm sure since whoever did it is not being caught, everybody on campus is going to be terrified, students, staff, everybody. They cancel classes for this rest of this week, but what if they still get caught by Monday? What? Nobody's going to want to go back to class.
I mean, that just affected a lot of people's lives. It just changed a lot of people's mentality. You don't know how people are going to recover from this. A lot. It's traumatic, and I'm speaking from a person that has been involved in domestic violence and being shot point blank range with a sawed-off shotgun. It's still days when, I hear fireworks. I don't want to hear fireworks. It's certain things that trigger me. Cars backfire. I don't like. So just imagine what these people are dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what they have to deal with for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask for that.
Exactly. And that would be hard to live with. Hi, Tamala. Welcome.
Hello.
Glad you could make it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we were talking about the shootings at Morgan State University, and I'm sure you've heard about that. And
Yes,
whoever did it.
I'm just glad that when I was in college, I didn't have to experience anything like this, and I'm glad that my children didn't have to experience anything like that. And I'm glad that the parents are listening to their children, and the parents say, you know what, come home. And the other previous things that happened, a lot of parents made their children stay on campus. And I was like, for what? There was a shooting. Like, do you have any sensitivity? I don't care if they is in their early 20s. They still need to come home. They are your child. So I'm glad that this time all the parents said, come on, come home. We can deal with, And I'm glad that there is compassion now, because sometimes we get to the point, we get so cold-hearted. We just say, oh, well, next. No, it's not an oh, well. So I'm glad everybody look at this situation and say, okay, let's take a break. So I'm glad everybody's at home and they're safe.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing well about it. It's horrible no matter how you look at it. All righty, let's see what's going on today.
They're going to carry those wounds for a long time. And, it's something that you just don't get over overnight. Some of these kids are probably going to have to go to counseling. It's sad. But all we can do is keep praying.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them have PTSD for the rest of their lives over this. Okay, what's next? Here we go. Trump's ongoing $250 million fraud trial. Former President Donald Trump's civil fraud trial in Manhattan may be finally getting to him, with his cool exterior beginning to crack as he grows increasingly frustrated over proceedings in the courtroom. The $250 million trial against Trump, the Trump Organization, and his two eldest sons, Donald Jr. and Eric, began on Monday. Trump, who has largely avoided courtrooms, has been appearing in the Manhattan court where prosecutors are accusing him, his company, and his family of intentionally exaggerating the value of their properties to commit insurance fraud. Trump has denied all wrongdoing. Observers describe Trump shaking his head and crossing his arms in response to Judge Arthur Engoron's comments and glaring at New York Attorney General Letitia James at one point when he was exiting the room. Well, this one here is a very interesting story, and I know we hear about it every day now. We will for a long time. I seen on one news channel that said that this trial would probably last till December, sometime in December, and that's going to be crazy. Now, Trump is not required to be there. He's there at his own choosing. This is not a criminal court, it's a civil case. So he doesn't have to be there personally, but I think he's using it as a way to raise more funds. You know, he's definitely an expert at raising funds and getting money out of people that feel sorry for him. So there's that. So what do you think about that one, folks? Go ahead, Bob.
It's such a farce. I mean, who is some judge to put a value on a property? Appraisers do that and banks do that. I mean, that judge has no authority or to do anything like that. And even if he did, he's not an expert in it. You know, that's what you have appraisers for, valuing property, and real estate experts. I mean, this is just is a whole crock of you know what. And I think Trump is probably choosing to be there so that people can see what a crock it really is. I mean, the whole thing is just a joke. It really is. It's a sad indictment on our country is what it is, that some judge can value a property he has no authority or no expertise to do. That's my take on the whole thing.
Do you agree that what he says it's a witch hunt and they're just out to get him?
Yeah.
Well, I think that
they've been out to get that guy since the minute he decided he wanted to run for president. And they've never been able to pin him on anything, but they keep trying and trying and trying. And all they're doing is making a mockery out of everything. Just leave the guy alone. If the people want him as president, then let him be president. You know, serve his 4 years and then go home, and then we'll get another one. You know, that's all.
All right. Angela, what was you going to say?
Well, all I can say is paper trails don't go back and document. Paper trails don't lie. If like I say, appraisals had to be done on the property, so they should have that in. They should have it documented already. If it was appraised properly, if people did their jobs when these properties were being sold and these properties were being transferred, then there should be no question. So, like I say, go back and just follow your paper trails and dot your I's and cross your T's. That's all I can say. And let the chips fall where they may. I mean, the truth always will prevail, whether it's what we want it to be or not. But the truth will prevail. We can't hide from the truth. And that's my take on it. You know, it is what it is. You know, if it was appraised at what it was supposed to be appraised at, then it should be documented. It shouldn't even be questioned. And then I don't get it. And I just don't. I don't get it. Because everything has it when it's sold, it had to be appraised, and whenever insurance is involved, these people come out and they look. I mean, they come out, they look, they do their own investigation, they do their own determination. They always send out a appraisal. Even the insurance people, they send out what they call an adjuster to look at and to evaluate and to make whatever recommendations. So they maybe need to looking at them people too. Everybody involved maybe need to be looked at.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something. And they just got to get to the bottom of it. That's all I can
It's
say.
going to be in the news every day, I guarantee you.
I'm glad I don't watch the news
That's
like
what
that.
they can talk about from now through December. I mean, how can there be that much to say about it? You know?
Well, you know, they always, it's just like the news do what they want to do. They have their own agendas and they're going to push what they want to push and they're going to put in front of people what they want to put in front of people because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So, and it's all a distraction because you can best believe that there's something brewing in the background. It never fails. There's always something going on behind the scenes of what we see out in front.
Yeah. We see what they want to show us, that's for sure. Tamala?
Well, before he became president, they was already talking about his builders and how he owed taxes, how he never paid for anything. So to let him get away with all that before he became president, why wait to now? And because they didn't have mercy for Wesley Snipes when he owed taxes, they put his behind in prison. And anybody else who owes, they make them file bankruptcy. They take all their stuff. So it's been years they allow him to get away with this. So it's just crazy. Like, why wait now when you know he was doing this for years?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it.
He's also really accused the Attorney General, Letitia James, of all kinds of things. He's said that she's a racist, and that's the reason she's coming after him. And I seen something today that she's getting really, really tired of it. And she's coming out making sure that everybody hears her side of it. So it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a lot of mudslinging and trash talking on both sides. So more will be revealed, huh? More will be revealed. All right. What we got next? Jews spitting on the ground beside Christian pilgrims in the Holy Land sparks outrage. I had to read that a couple of times before I could finally figure out what was going on. Jerusalem. A video that shows ultra-Orthodox Jews spitting on the ground beside a procession of foreign Christian worshipers carrying a wooden cross in the holy city of Jerusalem has ignited intense outrage and a flurry of condemnation in the Holy Land. The spitting incident, which the city's minority Christian community lamented as the latest in an alarming surge of religiously motivated attacks, drew rare outrage on Tuesday from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other senior officials. Further fueling the outrage, Elisha Yared, an ultra-nationalist settler leader and former advisor to a lawmaker in Netanyahu's governing coalition, defended the spitters, arguing that spitting at Christian clergy and at churches was an ancient Jewish custom. Perhaps under the influence of Western culture, we have somewhat forgotten what Christianity is, he wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter. I think millions of Jews who suffered in exile from the Crusades will never forget. I read several articles on this in the past few days, and it looks like this is something that's been going on a while. the Jewish people in Jerusalem and around that area are really coming down hard on the Christians, spitting at them, spitting on them, and threatening them and all kinds of things. It's really, really getting out of hand, apparently. And some of the Jewish people think it's okay. It's an ancient Jewish custom. So, wow. That kind of surprised me when I read that. Looks like it's been going for a while. So what do y'all think about that one? Tamala, would you like to go first?
Well, there are six different strands of Jews, so it depends what branch of Jews you're talking about. And with that said, you have to understand that when Jesus walked this earth, it was the Pharisees and Sadducees that said they thought he was wrong, because he was bringing Christianity to the scene. So how dare he change things? How dare he come here and get rid of the law when he said, they said, why are you working on a Sabbath day? And he said, I'm greater than a Sabbath. They went over their head. So when it comes to majority of the Jews, there's only one set of Jews that believe that Jesus was Jesus. But the majority of them, they just believe Jesus was just a carpenter. They don't think he was the Messiah. So that's why they are spitting at the Christians, because in their head, why would you believe in somebody who walked this earth? Because to them, he was just a carpenter. He was just a man. He was nothing. And so that's why they spitting at them, because in their head, they think they're right. And they say you need to just do what the Old Testament says. And even though in the New Testament, Jesus walked this earth, but to them, Jesus is just a man. So that's why they are upset with the Christians.
So you think it's mostly just a theological issue then for them?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They definitely never was a whole lot of collaborating between the Jews and the Christians, right? Some of them manage to pull it off to some extent these days, but not all the time, obviously. Angela, what do you think?
Well, I'm just we are in a new age, and spitting is just it's nasty and disrespectful, and I don't care if it's a custom or not a custom, it should not be done. That's all I got to say. I don't know a lot about this story. I hadn't read up on it, but it's disrespectful and it should not be done. I don't care if it is a custom. Some things you got to evolve from as we grow and we learn. But that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, just because it's an ancient custom doesn't make it right, that's for sure. Bob?
That's a good point. I like what Angela said about evolving and, when we learn from, Jesus came in the spirit of peace and love, and he never did any harm to anyone. So I don't see what the need is for spitting and disrespect, like she's saying. I think he was, for unity between, different religions, different cultures, different races. So I think it's in that spirit that people should try to behave, whatever side you're on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no matter who it is doing it, just spitting on people or at people is just rude,
Yeah.
And nowadays with the COVID thing, it could be fatal, That's I think that's what scares police officers more than anything, with somebody spitting on them. It's kind of a big deal. All righty, let's see what's next. Kentucky and Tennessee can ban sex change surgeries, puberty blockers for minors, appeals court. Laws passed in Kentucky and Tennessee that ban cosmetic sex change surgeries and puberty blocking drugs for minors with gender dysphoria have been upheld by federal appeals court panel. A three-judge panel of the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled 2-1 last Thursday to uphold the two state laws that prohibit sex change surgeries and hormonal interventions for minors who identify as the opposite sex. Chief Judge Jeffrey Sutton, George Bush appointee, authored the majority opinion and was joined by Judge Emil R. Lepar, who Donald Trump appointed. Sutton wrote that Kentucky and Tennessee share an interest in regulating the medical treatments offered to children suffering from gender dysphoria, adding that whenever the Constitution is neutral about an issue, legislatures have considerable discretion to regulate the matter. As long as it acts reasonably, a state may ban even long-standing and non-experimental treatments for children. It is difficult at any rate to maintain that these treatments have a meaningful pedigree, Sutton continued. I know we've kind of talked about the issue a lot on this podcast because there's a lot of it in the news about it. We'll keep getting new and new stories and new takes on it. And I don't know, I don't know if there's ever going to be an end to this. You know, I guess when we all grew up, y'all were much younger than me, but even when y'all were growing up, it was still, men were boys and there was girls. There's men and there's women, and that was pretty well understood, I thought, and nowadays it's not so black and white, There's men and the women and there's the other people. And I read on some website a while back that now they're saying that there's 90 different genders. I don't know what world that's supposed to mean. What planet are they from? I don't get it. So, what do you think about that, Bob?
The whole thing is just so weird. I think it's just a symptom of our culture that's lost its way. We need to go back to our Christian roots, and like I say, more morality. That 90 different genders. I mean, geez, it doesn't get any weirder than that.
Yeah.
But we need Jesus and Christ back in our lives and our culture. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Angela?
I don't have a lot to say about this because people I don't understand how they could allow or would want kids to make decisions like that when, they don't even, you don't even really know who you are or what you are. You're not even finished developing yet. So why would you even want, if you even thought you was somebody else? But I just don't get it. I really don't. And 90 different genders, when male and female are the only two that I know. Well, what's with the other 80, 82, 88? My God, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It just makes no sense to me. It's just like when they took God out of everything. It just like everything just started going downhill. You talk about a country that was built on "In God We Trust," but it's like we turned into our own thing. Everybody took this that we was made in His image, and they literally have taken that and think that they are gods and that they have the power to decide who they are and changing their bodies and doing a lot of stuff. Oftentimes I hear people talk about I'm God, and then they want to use the little G's, and it goes back to morals, values, and truly understanding the word, because a lot of us we've gotten away from a lot of that. We've gotten away from that. You know, a lot of people worshiping all types of stuff and doing all types of things, and normalizing it and making it okay. Like, I'm telling you, in the early 90s, I think 93, 94 was the first time I've ever seen a gay person. Like, I'm from South Carolina. I never saw a gay person until I came to Atlanta. I came to college, and I'm at this. I go past this club, and I'm thinking it's a regular club, and I'm like, oh, look at all them people. I said, I want to go back there next week, and they was like, no, you don't want to go there. And then that's when I realized I seen men that look better than me. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and Texas is on the same. They on the same thing. You know, a lot of people pushing a lot of stuff, but again, we got to instill in our children values and teach them what is right and what is wrong. You know, the Bible say Adam and Eve. It don't say Adam and Steve.
Don't bring Steve in.
And it said we're supposed to reproduce. And how can you reproduce if you with somebody the same? Two people with the same thing can't reproduce. So you out of order right there. You're not in the line with the word right there. And then we normalize and we make stuff okay. You know, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
You know, the book of Genesis said that God created men and women, so who created all these other genders, you know? Obviously, they didn't come from God, right? Man-made and substitutes and imitations or whatever they think they are. And we see a lot of people nowadays talk about discovering their divinity. You know, like we all are in some way God. And we hear some crazy things along those lines. And people want to be gods and goddesses.
When I hear all of that, I tell people to look up that word image and understand what that word image means. Because image means likeness. It does not mean you are him. So if you don't have that power, you are not him. He did not create you as him.
Yeah.
So, and you didn't create yourself. So when I hear people, I see people that have it tattooed on them. They always talking about they are God. No, you got that twisted. You know, a lot of us, we take these scriptures or whatever our belief system is, whether we reading the Bible, the Quran, or whatever it is, we take it and we take it literally for what it says instead of really understanding. He didn't say for me. Look it up. He said in his image. So in his image means in his likeness. That means like him. Not that you are him, because you will never be him, but you are like him. And we don't get that. So we go around and we think that we have power that we don't have. So then that's when they start tapping into the getting the surgeries and the getting the whatever else. Because if you truly was God and you had that power, then you wouldn't need all these surgeries and you wouldn't need all that, because you would have the power to do that. So we should be thinking about all this. And then the parents that just allow this is just, whew, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Tamara?
I give a hands up to the two states that are fighting against this, because, like I said, California passed a law where if the parents speak against the surgery, they will be arrested on the spot. So you got people who are arresting parents if the parents say no. So it's ridiculous. And they have told all the schools, they gave the schools a list and said, do not use any pronouns. You're not allowed to say girl. You're not allowed to say boy. You're not allowed to say male, female. And if the child sees their mom, they're not allowed to say mommy. They're not allowed to say daddy. You're not allowed to use any pronouns in the schools. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, well, what you supposed to say? Like, hey, cupcake, come over. I mean, you can't you can't even say a pronoun. They're just getting ridiculous right now. But I'm glad that they banned this, and yeah, they shouldn't allow children under 18 to have any decision. They don't know what they want, because you can buy a child something. Oh, mommy, I want this basketball. I want to be on the basketball team. You put them on the team, and then after 3 months, they don't want to be on the team no more. They change their decisions all the time. So I'm glad they banned this.
Well, I'm sure it's not over. I mean, I'm sure there'll be all kinds of other legalities and people complaining and protesting and all of that. So who knows if that'll ever stop, right? So we got somebody in chat, Cheryl Northern Grand. Is she a friend of one of you ladies? All right.
We can't hear you, Angela. Oh.
Here we go. Texas Republican will nominate Trump for Speaker of the House. How you like that? That's certainly a twist in the whole thing, huh? Representative Troy Nehls, Republican from Texas, announced late Tuesday that he will file paperwork to nominate former President Trump to be the next Speaker of the House. This week, when the U.S. House of Representatives reconvenes, my first order of business will be to nominate Donald J. Trump for Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Nehls said in a statement. President Trump, the greatest president of my lifetime, has a proven record of putting America first and will make the House great again. Representative Kevin McCarthy, Republican from California, was ousted as Speaker on Tuesday in a historic vote after 8 Republicans joined all Democrats in voting him out of the role. Nehls voted against attempts to remove McCarthy. The Speaker of the House is not required to be a sitting member of Congress, though no Speaker has ever held the role without being a member. Well, that certainly is interesting, huh? The House of Representatives is definitely in a chaotic state now. They ousted McCarthy just in no time flat. And they've been trying to figure out who's going to be replacing him. And now somebody said, hey, Donald Trump. So, Bob, did you write this?
No, I didn't write it. I do know that the speaker is third in line to the presidency. So whoever was the speaker is could potentially be the president one day.
Yeah. And there's nothing stopping him from getting it. Nothing at all.
Yeah. I don't know, though. We'll see. I'd rather see him get elected by the people than have to do it through, being a speaker, but we'll see.
Do you think he'll accept it if he does get voted in?
I think he probably would.
Me too.
Yeah, I think he would. Yeah.
He probably has more clout in the Republican Party right now than anybody else, right?
I would think, yeah, by far. Yeah.
Well, What do you think, Tamara?
I feel that if they're going to forgive him for everything, they need to forgive all the prisoners and let all the non-violent people out and clean their slate and let them vote, because a lot of prisoners are not allowed to vote. They when they get out of jail, they can't even get a job. So if we're going to go down this route, let's do everybody. Let's help everybody. Let's free everybody. Let's clear everybody's slate. So when they get out of jail, they can get a job and have a life. Because once you get out of jail, you can't get a job. You can't live into certain areas because of your record. Okay, didn't they already do their time? Like, come on, let the people go. I mean, it don't make any sense. They already did their due. They already did their prison time. Where are they supposed to go? Where are they supposed to live? And then you get mad because they commit another crime. You setting them up for failure. You don't have anybody there to help them. So if we're going to do this and we're going to just blow and act like nothing happened and say, okay, you know, he's a wonderful person and we don't care what he has done, set him free, set everybody free. And that's how I feel. Just set everybody free.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it from a standpoint. It's coming from Texas, a state that for the last 3 decades, 3 to 4 decades, have truly have had so much corruption within their judicial system. It is ridiculous. Even with the acquittal of the attorney general, all the evidence proved everything that they acquitted him on, because of the people that funded these people to get into office said if he's impeached, they taking money away and they doing this and they doing this. So people don't want to lose their money, so they doing anything to brush stuff under the rug. But if we're gonna keep brushing stuff under the rug, then it's gonna continue to be like that. But you're talking about this is coming from a state that is corrupt, and everybody know. You can Google corruption in Texas and so much pops up.
Yeah.
So it's coming from a state that is built on corruption. So I mean, what can you expect?
Yeah, I agree.
Say that's all I gotta say. I mean, because it's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. I mean,
Anything else?
I really don't think that. I think that they need to get all this stuff out in the open before they start putting Trump in these different offices and allowing him to do everything. Need to be clear. I don't think that we should be having to go through. If it was me and I was going through legal battles, I don't think they would be letting me do all this stuff and be out in the forefront and running for different offices and doing that, because it just ain't right. So let him clear up all this stuff that he got out here in the open before you talking about putting him somewhere else. And then it's coming from a corrupt state. You talking about this corruption that's going on in the state of Texas. Like, I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But again, this is the time that we're living in. And people go along with any and everything. And it's all about, to me, I feel like it's all about money and power. If you got money, you can pretty much throw your money around and do anything. Yeah. Anything. And that's what these people are showing, that this is what they're doing. And I'm not gonna let it go. It goes back to those 13 elite families that have control, and they puppeteering everybody and pulling the strings and telling people what to do. They don't care who you are. They don't care what classification you are, Republican or Democrat. They don't care. They do not care. And with me, I don't care about the classification. If right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Yeah. And we need to do better as people.
I agree with you. You know, if you got billions of dollars, you can buy a whole lot of influence and a whole lot of people spreading your truth or lies or whatever you want to spread, you know. $1 billion can buy a whole lot of allies. A whole lot. Anything else on that one? We're moving right along on these today. Okay, last but not least, this is a crazy story here. Police apologize to pro-life volunteer in silent prayer case. Police have confirmed that no charges will be brought against a pro-life volunteer who was arrested for praying silently within an abortion clinic buffer zone. Von Spruce waited months following her arrest in March to find out if she was going to be prosecuted. She was arrested near an abortion clinic in Birmingham on 6th March when she was told by officers, "You said you've been engaging in prayer, which is the offense." I welcome West Midland Police's decision to end their investigation and their apology for the time it took to do so. But it's important to highlight the extremely harmful implications of this ordeal, not just for myself, but for everyone concerned with fundamental freedoms in the UK. What happened to me signals to others that they too could face arrest, interrogation, investigation, and potential prosecution if caught exercising their basic freedom of thought. And that's a crazy story. This woman was praying silently, and was arrested for it. And it took months for her to find out if they were going to prosecute the case or not. And now it's like, oh, we're sorry. You know, that's not against the law. So, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Right, Angela?
Crazy. How do you even know what the lady was saying? Like, for real. I mean, people just they just do too much now. This the world we living in now, everybody want control. Everybody want power. Everybody want to be over somebody. I just don't understand. How do you know what this lady is thinking inside of her head and so on? But it all goes back. You better write it on the tablets of your heart so that you know. Because it's gonna become a day and time when we ain't gonna be able to pick up these books. We ain't gonna be able to pick up these books and read and read. You have to have it on the tablets of your heart because they're trying to take everything away from you. They're trying to take it away. So I tell people you better study and show yourself approved. Better get it down in your heart. Get it wrote on your tablets of your heart so you know.
There you go.
It's a sad day and time we live in.
Yeah. Bob?
Yeah, I agree with what Angela said. You know, write it down on your heart, like the tablets of Moses. You know, it's that's what we need.
Yeah. Pamela?
You know, the United States has been truly blessed because we have not really seen prosecution like the other countries because there are people who are serving God underground. In China right now, I just was watching the news. It's so sad. They burning the churches. They killing the people who believe in God, and they dying by the roads right now because they said, "I choose God." So whatever's happening is going to travel. But we have been so blessed over the years. Oh my goodness, we've been blessed because people been getting persecuted for years. And I saw something on TikTok how the schools something happened where the parents went to this meeting and they asked her, they said, "Can I pray?" And he said no. And she started praying. Everybody in the room in the court started praying, and they arrested everybody. They said, "Don't let them out. Arrest them right now, because we told them not to pray." And I was like, that's where we at. And this is United States. I can't remember what state it was, but this just happened last month. So it's coming to the wire. It is coming to the wire. And like Angela said, you better have that word in your heart, because it's coming to the wire.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I always encourage people to talk about the Lord on my shows, because I'm never going to stifle you for it. Just, I'll join right in there with you, but I'm never going to stifle you for it. Because, I'm happy to say Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and He's kept me from so much trouble over the years. And a lot of times He saved me from me, And a lot of times I know looking back, there was a lot of times that Satan obviously tried his best to take me out and come really close. But guess what? I not only got through it, I turned the test into a testimony. I decided I didn't want to be a victim. I wanted to be victorious. And, sometimes I've heard somebody say you don't know how much you need God until He's the only thing you have.
Yeah.
And there's been times in my life I knew good and well that was all I had on my side, but that's enough. And
Amen.
I'm glad that He's always
That's
believed in me, even at times I didn't believe in Him or me, neither one. So
That
we can
part.
always talk about Jesus.
That part right there.
Yeah. We can always talk
Amen.
about Jesus. So what else? You want to preach a little bit, Apostle Tamala?
We live in a time where everybody wants to be forgiven. And like I said, if we're going to forgive Trump, forgive everybody. Give everybody a chance. That's all I'm saying. If we're going to go that route, do that for everybody. And the reason why they have his sons in the courtroom with him is because he attacked Biden's son. And so now you say, well, they shouldn't went after his sons. Well, you went after Biden's son. And Biden's son was doing drugs. That's a disease. He the boy been suffering for years. Like you said, he watched his mother die. So after that, he lost his mind. He's been suffering ever since. And he grew up without a mom because he lost her when he was very young. But we still want to say, well, he's an old man now. He's old enough to stay away from drugs. Well, a lot of people have lost their lives because they have overdosed. He is hurt. So why can't we just give the boy some help instead of keep on taunting him? Well, he need to get over it. And then you're going after his father. Biden is not taking drugs, okay? But we want to attack Biden for what his son has done. So yeah, we're seeing all this is going on, but I'm telling you, forgiveness has to go for everybody, not just for one person. Forgive everybody. And why can't we forgive everybody? Why we have to just look at one side and say we're not going to look at that side? Let's look at all sides and forgive everybody. So that's where I'm at.
Sounds good to me. Anything else? Angela, you got something else to say? Surely you do.
I just say that, we need to get back to having morals and learning how to respect each other. When we get back to the root of it, if this country was founded on "In God We Trust," then we need to get back to the principles of God and the things that God has brought down for us. He give us instructions in the Bible. He give us instructions of things that we are supposed to live by. But see, we don't want to do that. We want to be God. And I know that I would not be where I am today if it was not for him. And like you, I look back over my life and there's been times when he have saved me from me. I don't even know how I got over a lot of stuff, but by grace and mercy. And I thank him for his grace and his mercy. And, all I say is those that believe and those that are willing to stand on the wall, continue to pray, continue to lift up the country, continue to lift up those around you. And when we find forgiveness, we got to learn how to forgive yourself. When you learn how to forgive yourself, then you can forgive others. At the end of the day, it's all about us forgiving so that we don't carry this stuff and block our blessings. Because forgiveness it's not always for you, but it's for what God wants to do with you and through you. Because a lot of us, we carry a lot. Because a lot of us been through some things, we've been hurt, and we carry a lot. And sometimes we just got to let go and let God. I got this acronym that God dropped in my spirit when I began to work on this last poetry book that I'm working on, and it's an acronym for love. And the L stands for letting go and letting God. The O stands for overcoming oppression, because we allow so much to keep us bound, to keep us in bondage, to keep us held down. We got to overcome some of those things. Like for me, I get tired of a lot of people talking about slavery. It happened. People not gonna own up to it. You can't stop it and allow it to keep you from moving forward. You got to own up to now. We're in the present. So overcome that. We got to overcome the oppression. And in Habakkuk, he say, write the vision and make it plain. He's given us all gifts. He's given us all talents. He's given us all things that we can do in this world right now, because his word said he will make room for your gift. So write the vision and make it plain so that he can do those things that he wants to do in your life. And then when you move out your own way and allow him to be who he said he would be in your life, he will evolve you. He will evolve you eternally. So those things that you are working for, you'll be able to have them eternally. And that's what he dropped in my spirit for the word love, because love covers, love draws, love is action. It ain't just something that we say. It should be something that people see in you. Because you tell me you love me, you shouldn't be out here showing hatred. You shouldn't be out here doing everything opposite of love. And that's what we have to get back to as people. We got to learn how to love more.
There you go.
And that's all I got to say.
Okay. Well, already we've covered what we set out to cover, so let's do our plugs. Tamala, would you like to go first?
I want to say thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you.
My ministry is Come Home, Stop Talking About It. It's an outreach ministry, so we just help people the best way we can. I'm not rich, because I'm telling you, some people want me to buy them a house car. I said, wait a minute now, you need to go to Bishop T.D. Jakes. I'm not that kind of person. I don't got that kind of money. Not yet. Anyway, it's coming, but I don't have it yet. But they try to help me with. They try to get me to help them with that. Whew, I'm getting tongue twisted. But I'm excited. I am an author too. I have books out on Amazon. I'm a gospel singer. I have one single out. I'm ready to get the rest of my songs out. So those who, got a spiritual ear, I need help. So thank you for allowing me to be here tonight.
All right, thank you. Bob?
I have a book out. It's called A Flicker in the Water. If you like to read about the ocean and fish and even the spiritual lessons that our oceans have to teach us, my website is flickerinthewater.com. It's good for all ages, starting around age 7, boys and girls and everybody.
So your book about fish has spiritual stories also.
Yeah, I talk about God and the oceans and what the oceans have meant to mankind, and even in Jesus' time in the Sea of Galilee and all those things.
Okay, good deal. Angela?
Well, I am the founder and CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine and the visionary behind the Crew Podcast. I am an author now of 69 books, journals, and planners. Looking forward to book number 70 dropping in December. But I just believe in being the change that I desire to see in this world. You know, oftentimes we talk about what we want to see in this world. But I'm a true believer that we have to be that change in order to see change come. So across my platforms, the various platforms that I am a part of, I just like to share. I like to bring people together. They've given me the title of Queen of Collaborations because I just like to network. I like to partner. I like to bring people together. I am a life coach. I'm a self-publishing coach. So I help people that want to publish their books. I teach them how to publish their books. So if I believe in that saying, if you teach a child to fish, they'll never go hungry. So I believe in teaching people how to do things instead of trying to get their money and then constantly trying to get their money. So if you pay me one time to teach you how to publish a book, then you're going to know how to publish a book the next time. You're not going to have to go back to nobody and need that service. So that's just some of the things that I do. And I try to instill this in everything that I do. I want people to be empowered, encouraged, and educated. God dropped that E3 experience in my spirit. I think in 2014, in the midst of going through my domestic violence, he was still dealing with me in evolving me and equipping me for this season that I'm in right now. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I thank God for allowing me to meet you, Mr. Steve, to be able to be a part of this platform, to be able to share our perspectives. So I definitely thank you. If anyone would like to support the things that I do, I can be followed on Linktree. If you go over to Linktree, Queen of Collaborations, you can see a list of all of my different sites that you can go to and follow me on social media. You can purchase my books. You can look at my books. You can hear some of my different podcasts because I am a part of 3 other podcasts. One of the podcasts that I am extremely excited about because I've been nominated for International Internet Radio Hall of Fame for Broadcasting Class of 2023. I will know in exactly 12 days if I have been inducted in. So I'm excited about that. I'm waiting to get that call from Amsterdam to say you are in. I'm just excited to be able to be a vessel, to be used by God, because everything that I do to bring glory to him, because it's by his grace and his mercy that I'm here, because the enemy wanted to take me out May 7th, 2014. The enemy wanted to take me out. I was shot point blank range with a sawed-off shotgun. I should not be here, but it's by his grace and his mercy that I'm here. So again, I'm just excited. And again, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
Glad you're here. Speaking of other podcasts, I have one called Friday Night Conversations, and it's Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time on my other YouTube channel. And also, my books are available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and all the other name brands, big publishers. So check them out if you want to, and spread the word. Spread the word about the Night Crew. I know y'all been doing that, and I appreciate it. I love the little thing you did today, Angela. I seen that. That's great. So I'm going to say good night to you folks. Thank you for being here as always. It's always a blessing to talk with you, and hope y'all have a good night, good weekend, and thanks everybody for joining into the Night Crew. And we will see you again Sunday night. So God bless. Have a great weekend, and see you soon. Bye.
God bless. Thank you. Bye.